Hey, third grade, it is time for us to make our final roller skate collage. Our learning target this week is I can draw, cut, and glue a roller skate collage. We have already made our practice roller skate collages, and now we are making our final out of the painted paper that we created last week. Last week we put some saran wrap over our watercolor to create some texture, so you will see that texture today. Let's get started. All right, so the first step is to draw our roller skate pieces, starting with the shoe part. So on the back of your watercolor paper, you are going to draw. So I'm going to flip it around, and when I am drawing, I want to start with the bottom of the shoe. It can be curved or straight. Curve, then straight up. Curve near the toe. Horizontal. And connect. If I mess up a little bit, it's totally fine because I can always adjust how I cut. See how I made two different lines here? That's fine. I'm going to cut on the one that I like best. I could even cut a little bit of the paper off so I don't have to cut with all of this. Then cut right on my line. The size of my roller skate shoe should be big and not too small, because if it's too small, it won't fill up the paper. See how I'm cutting not exactly on my line? That's because I wanted to make it slightly bigger. So you don't have to make a perfect drawing to make a perfect cut. All right, this is the size of my shoe, okay? Now I would glue it with the watercolor side up. So I'm gonna take my paper, which is teal paper. This will be the background. And we will use glue cups. Take the glue cup lid off, keep that glue in here, twirl the glue brush around. If there's a little bit of water in it, that's to help it flow. So I'm going to mix it up, mix it up. Okay, I don't need that much glue. I'm gonna wipe it on the lip. So dip, dip, wipe it on the lip. Only glue the edges of my roller skate. I don't need to slather this all in glue. Am I working on a messy mat? Yes, if you noticed, yes I am. I'm working on a messy mat. Why? Why would I work on a messy mat? That's so that if I get glue off of my collage piece, at least it will go on a messy mat and not my table. Okay, flip this over, arrange it where I want on my collage, about in the middle, and press down. If I really want it to get it flat, I can flip it over and massage. I don't need to pound, pound, pound. No pounding, just massaging. Flip it back over. Now I get some different paper. This paper is some old paintings from a couple years ago. I don't necessarily want to use my watercolor paper again, because if I do, it might blend in with what I already have, which is why we're using this other paper. I'm going to place this other paper right next to my shoe to try to see how long the sole of the shoe should be. I'm going to just create a rough drawing about like that, snip it off, and then I'll glue. So do you notice how I am gluing in between each of these cuts? Yes, so I'm not cutting out everything before I glue. I am gluing, or I'm drawing, cutting, and then gluing, because if I don't finish my collage in a day, at least I'll have all my pieces glued down. Press it down, press, press, press. If you have extra glue on your hands, you can always rub them really tight together, and then it should come off. Rub, 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 press. All right, next step is to create this part of the shoe where the laces go. It's kind of shaped like a banana. I'm gonna put my paper, same paper, back on top. I'm going to arrange it and kind of see, I can see the little shoe coming out. I'm going to draw it about how big I need it. Like that. See it coming off the side? I also drew it on this side because this was pretty white on my paper right here, and I want it to have some of this orange color of the painted paper. Cut it out. Maybe make it a little bit curved on the end like that, kind of like a banana shape. Flip this over, dip, dip, wipe it on the lip. You don't need that much glue. Ooh, I just noticed there's a cooler side on this side, so I'm going to use that instead. You can flip your paper around and see which side looks cooler. All right, flip it this side. Press it kind of over the edge, not inside, over the edge, and press down. If you have extra glue, you can pick it up with your finger, put it under areas that do need it. Press, press, press. And because this is a little piece, I don't necessarily need to flip my whole paper over and massage, just really for the shoe. Okay, now for the wheels. For our collage, we're only going to make 2 wheels. I'm going to use my lid as a cheat sheet, to create them. Now, this is mostly blue, but on my watercolor, I have some purple. So I'm going to use this purple side. I'm going to flip my paper over where the purple is, trace a circle, trace a circle. These circles are going to be too big, so what I'm going to do is just use them as my guide to make a smaller circle inside. I can kind of cut out these 2 circles that I need from the big paper and get the big paper out of my way. Cut the smaller circles. When you're cutting, make sure you go slowly so that you don't get all these little hairy edges. You want it to be nice and clean because this is your final. Flip it over. I'm going to glue that side. Only glue the edges. If you have extra on your brush, wipe it on the lip of your cup. If a little bit gets in the center, it's no biggie, but basically you don't need that much, okay? All right, I'm going to not put it on the bottom, but overlap it over the sole. Press, press. Cut the other circle. I am not going to trash this scrap paper quite yet because we will use that later on. This isn't necessarily trash. I can use this for other parts of my collage. And overlap and press. Okay? I try to make my circles about the same size so far. This is where we are right now. Okay? Now I'm going to add the little, I'm going to add this top part right here, the top part and the laces before we add the decorations. Now, this scrap paper, remember how I talked about that? We are going to use that right here. I'm going to cut a strip, maybe a little longer than a French fry, about maybe a little, like almost an inch wide, and I'm going to cut little piano keys from it all the way down. That is actually probably enough. Take my brush, flip each over, use my messy mat for the glue, flip it over. Yes, my fingers might get a little bit of glue on me, but I don't need to wash my hands. Flip it over, and we're going to press these all the way down. Press, press, press. I'm overlapping them on top of the little banana shape. So you should put the banana shape on first so you could put the laces on second, right? And because my shoe is not purple, I can use the purple part of the paper so that it doesn't blend in. So whenever you are making your collage, you don't want to use all the same color or else they will blend in. So make sure that you are using different colors for different areas, right? There we are. Let's use this little bit for the top. Flip it over. It's about the same size, exactly the size that I need it. And oh, I'm going to trim it just just a tad, and press right down. And now I have the top of my shoe. Here we are. Okay, press, press, press. All right, great. I might even cut some little squares or little circles out of the little extra for the center of my purple wheels, except that's purple, so I can't use that. I'm gonna come back to this paper. Maybe I'll just take a little bit, a tiny little shape off of it. I don't need to cut the whole thing up. I'm just cutting a little bit off. Only use exactly what you need. Glue the back, press in the center. Whoops, need some more glue. Press, press, and hold. Wipe up extra glue, cut one more. That orange stands out from the purple, so I'm glad I chose that as the color instead of more purple. Oops. As I'm working, I'm making sure that the paper doesn't fall to the floor and I forget about it. I want to pick it up if anything falls off. There we go. All right, for the wings on the side of my shoe, like this. Let's learn how to draw those again. I'm going to use this paper since it's different from my watercolor paper, okay? I'm going to draw a wing like this. First a straight line, angled lines, kind of like I'm drawing a square, then one long bump, shorter bump, and shorter bump. That's how you draw wings. So it kind of looks like if you are wearing these roller skates, you could have a wing decoration to kind of represent going really, really fast. When you are cutting this out, you want to move the paper as much as you are moving the scissors. You don't need to like bend your wrist this way to cut it up. You can move the paper and then be able to make that cut. Okay, glue this down. And arrange it where I want it. I'm going to overlap it on the edge and press, and I'm going to flip this over and massage. My fingers are getting pretty gluey. I might want to rub them really tight together so that I get the little bits off my fingers. It's okay if a little bit is on me. Coming together, almost there. If you would like to make a star, use some other paper. When you are drawing a star, you go up, down, over. Oh wait, I'm trying to do this backwards and I cannot. Hold on. Up, down, over, and, well, you can make a star like that, like this, or if it's easier for you to draw stars like this, you can do that too. So to make that one, you go up, down, across, drive away, and go back home. Okay, so I would make it like that. I could get my scissors out. Notice that I did not draw in the middle of my paper. I drew in the corner so that I don't have cuts going all through that extra paper. This is probably a little bit tiny, so I'm going to make it slightly big off of my lines. Just like when I was cutting my wings, I'm going to make this, I'm going to cut this a little bit bigger, and I'm going to hold my paper instead of moving my scissors, okay? See how I made the star a little bit bigger than my drawing? You can do that, okay? Make the drawing part the back side so you don't see your pencil lines. Put some glue on it. And now let's decorate it with our shoe. So I'm going to arrange it maybe in the empty space right here, like that, okay? One of the last things you could do for your background is a fancy kind of star that kind of looks like this. You start with a curved line that gets straight. Make it really pointy, make another curved line, make it go up and back down. You see this star? So let's do it again. Straight, curve, curve, straight, go back down, curve, straight, curve, straight. 4 points with curves and straight lines. When you're cutting it out, you might want to cut out that section of the paper that you need before you try to cut it. I'm moving my paper because this is a small bit of paper. It's too hard to hold unless I turn my paper instead of always my scissors. Flip this over. Whoa. And glue, whoops, gotta hold, let go of it. Okay, and press it down. Maybe I would want to make 2 of those stars for there, but I am about done. Now, when it comes to the designs, you can create rainbows, you can create your own favorite character and add that on your roller skate, but as long as your roller skate has the shoe part, the banana part, the wheels, the sole of the shoe, the laces, and some decoration, you are on your way. Make sure when you first draw your shoe that it is not too small. Make sure it's about this size, and then you'll be set. When we are all done, we want to put the lid back on our glue cup so that it doesn't dry out. And we will collect our glue brushes for Miss Wright to clean and keep them in the cup like this. When we are cleaning up all these little itty bits of trash, if they're little itty bitty, they can go in the trash can. If they look like this, where it's just a little bit cut off, we will save this. All right, guys, good luck.